So our next speaker is Ali Mavrakis. He's a finance and computer science student at the University of Texas, but he's also the founder and CEO of a company called BaseDrive, which does cloud computing backups using things like fast fiber networks like Google Fiber. So without any delay, here's Ali.
No music. Hey everyone, my name is Ali Mavrakis. As he mentioned, I'm the CEO of BaseDrive. But about a year and 3 months ago, we got introduced to a program called Longhorn Startup Labs. And through that program, we met a number of great mentors, including Josh and a bunch of other mentors through Capital Factory, which is actually a sponsor of the program. And early on in the process, we were all about building. We're a bunch of engineers, and we wanted to build a bunch of cool things that we thought solved cool problems. But as time went on, we got introduced to the lean startup methodology, and we decided over time maybe we should spend a little bit less time building and a little bit more time learning. So we went out and checked out the market and tried to see exactly what problem we're solving and for whom, and we found a couple of really interesting early insights from some great customers. And the first was from Jose Answer, who's an attorney here in Austin, and he said if Box goes down for just an hour, it costs firms like his thousands of dollars. And that's not because he doesn't have access to his files necessarily. It's because he's put his files out in the cloud, and when he needs them most, at that exact moment, he doesn't have access to them, because there are over 102 billion applications that were downloaded from mobile marketplaces just last year. And what it means is that we're creating data in the cloud, we're saving data in the cloud, and we're accessing it from the cloud. So it's created this new black box. So we don't know where it's stored, we don't know who's storing it. And the reason, the evidence for this is actually really interesting. The market itself is a $367 billion market. And so if it was only these applications that we're all using, it wouldn't be that large. It's actually made up of 3 different parts. And the first part is the stuff that we all use, we all know, and we all love. And those are the software as a service. Those are our Google apps and our Dropboxes and our boxes of the world. And as end users, these are really great products. But if you're a developer of one of these products, you need tools to build your products on top of. And that's where platform as a service comes in. And there are a number of platform as a service players. Google's in the space, Microsoft's in the space, so is Salesforce, really big player now. And all of those are actually in turn built on top of infrastructure as a service. And infrastructure as a service is in this unique position because you have the Amazons, the AWSs, you also have Rackspace, and you have Google playing in the space, as well as Microsoft. But what it means is that all of these services are in turn built on top of this bottom layer. And what it's done is it's meant that you might have 5 different applications, hundreds of different applications that are all built on the same exact platform. They're all built on the same physical infrastructure, which means if something goes wrong, if one of the data centers goes down and you don't have access to your data, all of these services might come out. So as Worley mentioned, I come from a financial background, and so this is a finance term, this idea of systemic risk. If something happened to Amazon or something happened to Rackspace or something like this, all of the services that are built on top of them might disappear. And it sounds like unlikely, but just last week, Microsoft experienced a global outage that affected everything built on top of it. So this isn't something that doesn't happen, but it certainly begs the question, are these services too big to fail? Again, another financial thought, but it's really relevant because there is a systemic risk associated with building all of these different services on the same exact physical infrastructure. But luckily, there's good news, and that is that we're moving towards this idea of data federation. We're moving all of our data across different services, and we're actually representing that in software. We're building data structures that can span physical infrastructures and can be redundant across physical infrastructures. And large enterprises are doing a really good job of this. Actually, Gartner says that by 2017, half of large enterprises will have these hybrid cloud solutions that mitigates the risk that these public infrastructures might go down. But what about the rest of us? If you're a lawyer here in Austin, you don't have the technical expertise to deploy something like that. You don't have the physical infrastructure to build it on top, and you don't have the resources to go out and build a data center, that's for sure. So where does that leave us? It leaves us in this weird quagmire, but luckily we have Google Fiber. And so we have a new opportunity to go out and build a new model for the internet. And Google Fiber is really, really paving the way for us to be able to do that. And I think there are two really important pieces. The first is that we can decouple storage and computing, so we can store something locally on a server and then have it be computed on in the cloud, because the data can move around so quickly. And the second one is that we can build really efficient cloud solutions that are really lightweight, but they also mitigate the risk that I'm talking about, because we can put that data anywhere. And so I think Google Fiber brings us a new opportunity to see a different kind of internet in a really truly unique way.